we already know how we're going to format the cells for the assumptions. We have the criteria up here, so we're going to make the exact same formats for the assumption cells. So let's come down to rows 37 and 38, where price and quantity of the year-on-year growth rates are going to be formatted in assumption cells. Let's change the color of the cells first. Alt HH. We want to choose a light yellow color. It doesn't have to be yellow. It can be just any color that you want, anything that would be highlighted so that others can know that this is an assumption. Control 1, we'll also draw some dotted borderlines. So we're going to choose dots. We're going to select the outside and the inside and press OK. And in addition to that, these cells are not yet formatted as percentage formats. So we're going to select the entire cells, Control Shift 5 to change to a percentage format, and Alt H0 to increase decimal points. We're going to copy these formats and paste format. So Alt EST for price times quantity. Again, for fillers as well, F4. For international fillers, F4. And lastly, we also do need the assumptions for cosmetics products as well, despite it's relatively less important. Control C, Alt EST again. So we have a total of 9 rows to make assumptions. Okay, should we start from price? Should we start from quantity? In this case, there is a correct answer. In this case, we do want to start from price because it's a scenario where quantity depends on pricing. As I mentioned before, in 2020, the new investors of the company made a strategy to decline the average selling price, which led to higher demand and higher revenue. So the starting point was the price that triggered the quantities demand. So even for our forecast, quantity is going to be dependent on the price. So that's why we have to do price first. And one more reason for that is that price, it can be chosen from the company. The company can decide how to set the pricing levels. But in terms of quantity, when it comes to quantity, it's not the company's desired outcome at all times. It's the market who decides numbers. That's why we always want to do, not always, but in this case, we want to do price first. So let's go to the US Botox average selling prices. We're not going to put in so much thought into it. We are going to assume that price levels go down over time, but we're going to do an average. So AVER tab. But we are going to exclude 1 year, which is 2020. That is the outlier year in which it's not a common thing to have, and thus assuming that it's unlikely to happen again in the future. So we're excluding 2020 and making an average of the other 4 years, minus 3.4%, and we're going to let that trends maintain over the next 4 years. Same for international Botox as well, equals average. We're going to exclude 2020. So it will decline by 2.7% each year. For fillers as well, in this case, the outlier seems like 2019. So we are going to exclude 2019. It didn't experience any M&As back then, but still we're trying to exclude outliers here. So we've excluded 2019, made an average, minus 3.4% annually. And again, let that trends continue over time. Same for international filler revenues as well, average. Of course, you can always copy the cells that we have just built. If you just copy and paste, it's much more simple. It will create the exact same formula. Right. And now for quantity. So for vials sold, so actually, which is more sensitive to revenue, which is more important to revenue, it would be vials sold. So average selling prices, the range of these estimates are going to be very narrow, but quantity can be just anywhere. It can grow very huge. It can be stable over time. We never know the outcomes, and it's very difficult to predict. So that is why if we go to Financial Modeling 301 courses later on, we will build a scenario analysis where we create 3 different scenarios. So a base case, a best case, a worst case, or a bull bear case, if you want to call them that way. We're going to build scenarios where vials sold grows quicker or slower. But for now, we're just going to build the base case, which we're going to assign half of historical CAGR. So this one would be half of historical CAGR. So CAGR is 25.4%. So it's a very huge CAGR, but half of it, because we are expecting it to slow down over time. And in this case, we do want to anchor the CAGR cells. So F4 just once, and divided by 2, we still have 12.7% growth rates on quantity. Same for international revenue as well, and same for fillers. Let's do this a couple more times. So half of 39%. Oh, we have to put an F4. Again, we use syringes sold for US fillers. F4 divided by 2 gets us 3.7%. And lastly, for international syringes sold, quite attractive growth rate numbers, 15.2% growth rates for the next 5 years. And some might say that this is very aggressive because, as we've seen before, the growth rates are showing some slowing trends. It did show some slowing trends over the 5 years, but we're saying that it's simply going to return to its half of historical levels. So we are expecting some recovery in the growth rate, which can be aggressive to some people's viewpoints. But we are going to let it stay that way. And lastly, for the cosmetics products, we're not going to put in so much effort. We're just simply going to put in 15% growth rates for all 5 years. So I've just hard-coded 1.5 and copied it across. And just for now, let's color code these numbers in blue. So we are going to have a session on how to format hard-coded numbers into blue, much efficiently. We can do it all at once, or we can also make a macro related to it. But for now, let's just press Alt H, font color FC. Let's keep it simple and press the blue color, choose the blue color. And now it seems that we have all the revenue assumptions in place, ready to use for our actual revenue forecasts.